For those of you who follow my channel, firstly, thank you very much. But you will also know I'm super passionate about motorcycles. And I love reviewing the latest bikes on the market, reviewing them back to back, seeing how they improve the bike year on year, technology goes forth, the build quality on some of the manufacturers just getting better and better year by year. But I'm passionate about motorcycles and everything to do with motorcycles. Those of you who follow the channel will have seen bikes from Russia, trips overseas to World Ducati Week, museums from Italy and Germany. But my true fetish when it comes to motorcycles would be those special edition, limited edition, numbered bikes. Bikes that have a story why they came into production. And this bike behind me here is just such a bike. It is the Triumph Moto2. And an official Dorna approved motorcycle. I have reviewed her when she came out in 2020, a little bit of an older bike. However, there are only 6 in South Africa, 765 made. So I found this gent who owns one of those 6, and he has actually allowed me to take his bike out, play with it and test it. What a privilege. Let's have a look at it in more detail. Starting the story at the beginning, in 2018, Triumph announced that they would be the sole engine supplier for the Moto2. Now, if you recall, pre-2019, all Moto2 bikes ran a derivative Honda motor from the CBR 600RR. However, the Moto2 riders really struggled when they went up into MotoGP. The gap was just too big. So Dorna was looking for a solution, and that's how they came about with Triumph to look at a solution. Triumph took their triple 675, boarded out by 90mm, and made a 765. And as of 2019, all the Moto2 bikes on the grid run this Triumph motor, 765cc. However, the Moto2 really sprinkled with some light titanium bits and magic in it, and that's how it came about. And to celebrate that joint venture together, Dorna and Moto2 officially sanctioned this project, and that became the Triumph Daytona Moto2 bike 765. Now, this is extremely limited, only 765 units built, appropriately as per the CC. I think there was another 765 built for the American and Canadian market, and that has little red lines in it to identify it like that. This, however, the European spec and for the other markets. Now, they used this special motor in the Daytona chassis, and let's get back to the beginning of the Daytona story. The Daytona story and that model actually goes right back to 1966, when Buddy Elmore qualified his what was it, a Triumph Tiger 500 prototype in 46th place. However, after a nail-biting race, he actually won the Daytona 200, and to celebrate that win and victory, Triumph produced the first Daytona model. Now, through the years, it's evolved and then disappeared, and back in the 90s it reappeared, and this bike, the Daytona, is a multiple winner. So it's a proven chassis, a proven bike. It's got wins in the French, German and British Superstock championships. It's even got Isle of Man wins. So together with this Triumph Moto2 motor and the proven Daytona chassis, Triumph made something really special here. So this is not just your normal Daytona motor. In this Moto2 Daytona, you have light and titanium bits, really as close as you can get to a Moto2 bike. You don't have the under seat exhaust like you have more of a Moto2 lookalike Arrows pipe. Stainless steel and titanium finish at the back. Everything on this bike, we'll go through it now, is exclusive and high end. There was no money savings over here. This is a real, if you want to call it, prototype project bike. If you see, it's full of carbon fiber, Swedish Öhlins suspension, Brembo brakes, Arrows, titanium, stainless steel. The whole bike is carbon fiber, I think, except for the petrol tank. Okay, now just having a look at the engine in this bike. Starting off, it is a 765cc inline 3-cylinder liquid-cooled 12-valve double overhead cam. This motor produces 128 horsepower at 12,250 rpm, 80 newton meters at 9,750 rpm. The exhaust, as mentioned, stainless steel 3-in-1 Arrows titanium secondary silencer. Wet multiplay clutch, going to a 6-speed gearbox, which has shift assist, which is a quick shifter, and final drive chain. Now the frame even of the chassis is a 2-piece high pressure die cast. Super light, super race proven, fantastic stuff on this bike. Your wheels, front and rear, 17-inch front shod with a 120, the rear has a 180, and the actual rims are cast aluminium alloy 5 spokes, and you can really see the name on it, Daytona 765. The suspension, as mentioned, top quality stuff. Öhlins at the front, the NIX 30s, the back also Öhlins monoshock. You can just see the gold shock in the back over here. That is the TTX 36. Also, your brakes upgraded to the top. You have 4-piston caliper, stilemas up front, 2 of, with a 310mm disc, awesome stopping power. The rear, you also have a Brembo 2-piston caliper, however with a 220mm disc. Seat height on this bike, 822mm, 17.4 liters capacity. And here is the next beautiful thing. The total weight on this bike is 165 kilograms. That's insane. That is extremely light. 165 kilograms with 128 horsepower. Most of the bigger super bikes that are pushing out 200 horsepower, they are over the 200 kilogram weight. So if you look at power to weight ratio, this bike is fantastic. And sometimes when you say less is more, I think this is the perfect formula. You have less power, more manageable power, in an extremely light chassis, nimble, quick direction changing. Some other cool features with this bike: you have head and tail light LED, ABS is standard, full color TFT instrument, which comes up with a Moto2 logo because it is an officially approved bike by Moto2 and Dorna. Switchable traction control of this bike. You have 5 rider modes: rain, road, sport, rider, configurable, and even a track mode. You have shift assist, as mentioned, quick shifter. You must hear this, is perfect. The sound of this bike is unbelievable. Now this bike is rare, special and unique, and I don't know if it has any competitors in its class. Maybe a Yamaha YZF R6, maybe a Kawasaki ZX6R, Honda CBR 600RR, but I really don't think so, because this is something true, special, limited, unique, unbelievable. And every single bike has this number over here of 765, this bike being 726, one of the later ones. If I pull the key out here, you can see 726 of 765. And I think what we're going to do now is get on and play. I mean, having a look at the bike is already a pure joy. It is exquisite. It's actually jewelry for a man. And to me, this is just eye candy, absolute eye candy. Every line, it's just fantastic. Look at that, like bee sting type tail end. It's a real racer. That upswept exhaust, very Moto2 style. I mean, if you put your helmet on and walk up to this bike, it makes you feel like a Moto2 rider. You feel like a factory rider. I love also how they incorporated very simple graphics onto the carbon fiber, leaving it natural carbon fiber. And that simple graphic, if you look at it, it's actually the Union Jack brought out. So let's stop talking about it and go for a ride. Now, one thing before I go for the ride, I want to share with you Have a listen to the sound of this bike. I'm going to quickly start it up for you. Moto2 display comes up. How's the sound? That is just unbelievable. Oh, I love the sound. You just suit up here, put your gloves on, and you feel like a real racer, somebody important. This is a privilege, such a privilege. Oh, that sound is glorious, unbelievable. I think that's the first thing. Do we need to talk about anything else? This is, listen to this. Quick shifter. I'm actually short shifting because this motor has way more stomp. Ooh. I'm obviously going to behave. It is not my bike, but we're going to play a little bit. Pulling off. Fantastic sound. Walking up to the bike, if you don't feel like a proper racer, once you're on the bike and you open that throttle, you do feel like you're someone special. And the stopping power, unbelievable. This bike, I don't know if this bike will disappoint on any level. Just from the spec sheet, it is exquisite. This is pulling off in second. Wow. Unbelievable how the speed climbs. And it's a nimble bike. It's actually a small bike, small chassis. At my 6-foot frame, I am comfortable. Wow, okay. Suspension is stiff if you go over bumpy roads, but that is sport suspension. I think perfect for the racetrack. If I owned one of these, definitely would be doing some track days. Oh, this is music to my ears. What I'm gonna do, whoops, the highway feeds on from this side. I think we're gonna take it on the highway a little bit, open her up. It's completely rideable at lower RPMs here. Docile, what gear am I in? Third gear. This TFT display gives you everything. This bike is so nimble it actually wants to fall over at slower speeds. Where do we go? Yeah. Oh. You have to control yourself because this is jail territory, this bike. The sound, the acceleration, the quick shifter, everything is working perfectly. And this is a bike that has over 10,000 kilometers on it already. It's not just a showpiece. The owner of this bike, he really uses the bike, commutes on the bike, and he loves it. And I can see why. It is a very sporty seating position. At my 6-foot frame, my feet and ankles are really under the bum. They're quite high up, they're off the road. That gives you good ground clearance when throwing it into bends. This would be an enemy to knee sliders, this bike. It really pulls hard. It is fantastic. It's a bike that needs a lot of restraint because it is so capable. I think these kind of bikes, they exceed the capabilities of 99% of riders. Very racy position. I am leaning forward. Long trips you would feel it a little bit in the lower back, but very sporty, nice geometry on the bike. I'm not cramped on the bike in any way. At 6 foot I can move back, I can tuck in. Oh. This bike is going to cause trouble for me. Oh, fantastic. And to think I have to bring it back. One of these days I'll have to find one of the 6 owners and get this bike off them. Throttle response extremely good. Fly-by-wire, really, you can open it up. Being a triple, it has the best of both worlds. Low down grunt, as you can see, the hooligan factor. Oh, on a bike like this, how do you behave? This is insane. Wow. I love riding it. I don't know what to say. I don't really want to talk. I just want to open the throttle. The sound, the speed, the handling, it's smooth. If you want to use the clutch at the slower speeds, it is light. 2 fingers. The gear shifter is very precise. There's nothing that's loose, that's rattling, and this is a bike that has 11 or 12,000 kilometers on it. It is solid. Build quality, unbelievable. This fairing here, there's no play on this fairing. Nothing's wobbling, nothing's rattling. These mirrors, they firm. It's clear. The picture in the mirror is absolutely clear. Nothing moving around. Have a look at this. There's nothing rattling here, nothing bouncing around. My legs, they tuck in so nicely under this ridge of the petrol tank. I am comfortable, and the sound just sucks you in. You just want to roll it on. My riding style is a little bit chaos. Oh, that sound just gets better and better as the revs climb. Wow. Wow. And I mean, I think Triumph even has 35 dedicated accessories for this bike. Gone are the days where Triumph is an old man's bike. I mean, even 5 years ago, I still believed Triumph was an old man's bike, gentleman's bike, and you have this image in your head of the old British bikes, oil tray underneath, always leaking, and wow, Triumph makes unbelievable, exciting bikes. From the Rocket 3 to the Speed Triple, what a sleeper, what an amazing bike. We've reviewed that one too. And here, this, I mean, the Speed Triple RR 1200, all these bikes, this Moto2 Daytona, it is insane. Nothing about these Triumphs are gentleman bikes, nothing. They have bikes for hooligans, for maniacs, for nutcases, basically guys like me. This is even docile here in a lot of traffic. I'm using the clutch, not the quick shifter, changing with the clutch up and down. Motors completely controllable. RPMs are just over 3,000 RPMs if I roll on. Very manageable, non-intimidating. This is the beauty. You don't just have a bike that is completely uncontrollable and only for the track. You have a bike that you can commute, and when I heard that the owner is commuting on it, I thought, well, number one, it's a rare bike, special bike, you shouldn't be doing that. Number two, It's a super bike. Are you comfortable? Answer is yes. Number 3, the motor. Isn't that a bit wild, the combination? The low chassis, isn't it a bit too much for commuting? Answer to that, no. At these RPMs, it's not too much. It's completely manageable. You have your rider mode, so if it rains commuting, just change your rider mode. And on a track day, ride it out to the track, warming everything up on road mode or sport mode, and once you're on the track, you just switch to track mode as a standard, and then you can still configure it even further if you want. So as a commuter, I didn't think so, but it can tick all the boxes. As a collector's piece, of course, only 765 units, each one individually numbered. Fantastic. I do think it's going to be a collector's item. It's something really special, commemorating Triumph being a single engine manufacturer to Moto2. So collector's piece, investment piece, track day weapon, commuter. What a blend. What a blend. And I have to exercise a lot of restraint because all I want to do is blast past the traffic here, open the throttle. But yes, just keep shifting up. The clutch is light, it's so light. And the brakes are phenomenal. I think with ABS and traction control and these Olins front and back and adjustable, so even if you're not a track day specialist, smooth. What can I say? I'm loving it. I think I'm going to stop talking now. There's not much to review about this bike. It's just out of this world. It is something extremely special. The real place to review and test a bike like this would be obviously a racetrack. Kyle Army. This is unbelievable. This is exquisite. So I'm going to stop talking, waffling, have some fun, and why not? What a fantastic motorcycle. I know it's an older bike, and lately I've been reviewing the latest things on the market, but something really, really special. Wow! I hope you enjoyed this review with me. What a fantastic bike. And if you enjoyed it, please remember, hit that like button, give me a thumbs up, but most important, please hit that subscribe button. Help me build this channel so I can bring you more of these exciting, amazing motorcycle pieces of art. If you like, hit that reminder bell so you always know when I'm bringing you new content.